You're listening to Change Your POV podcast, episode 85. The only thing keeping you from getting the things that you want are the stories that you tell yourself that are preventing you from getting them, right? So if you want to lose weight, the only thing that's preventing you from doing so are the stories that you tell yourself that's preventing you from losing weight. If you want to make more money or you want to start your own business, the only thing that's stopping you are the stories that you tell yourself as to why you can't. You want to get a college degree or you want to get a promotion at work?
Welcome to Change Your POV podcast, helping you navigate transitions in your life like entering and exiting college or the military, changing jobs or careers, and providing you with the coaching and mentorship needed to help you advance in your personal or professional life. Sometimes all you need is to change your point of view. Now, here's your host, Eddie Lazary.
Hello, folks, and welcome to Change Your POV podcast. I am your host, Eddie Lazary.
And I am Bennett Tanton.
And today we are talking about life. Life gets in the way is not an excuse. But before we get into that conversation, I got to give a shout out to this week's sponsor, Mountain Up. Mountain Up Apparel is a premier military and veteran clothing and apparel and accessory store. They sell all kinds of stuff, not just clothing and apparel, but they got all kinds of goodies for your man, if you are a man, or if you have somebody that's served, or even the ladies out there that served in the military and you're interested in getting some stickers or patches or cool hats. I mean, Bennett, your wife even wears that what's it called? That particular hat that I know there's a name for it. Well, it's the same one that I got.
Yeah,
what's
it's
it called?
The same. Oh God, you know what? I don't know. But keep going. I'll figure it out by the end of
all right.
this little...
There's a particular name for it because he's got several different variations and different colors and whatnot of the hat. And yeah, I got a first cab hat. It's got the patch on the front. I still got to make the name tape patch for the back with my name on the back. 'Cause right now it's just got an empty spot. What do they call it? Hook and pile, because they can't use the Velcro because that's a branded thing, right?
Yeah.
Right. So hook and pile.
So my wife wears the olive drab tactical cap.
Yes, which is the same thing I have, right?
Yeah. And but hers is the 10th Mountain. It's got a 10th Mountain emblem on one side and a American flag on the other.
Yeah, and I got the first cab on one side and American flag on the other, which is slick. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, head on over to changeyourpov.com/mountain up. And that will take you straight to that site where you can go pick up all kinds of goodies. And then at checkout, type in the code GOOD10, GOOD10, GOOD10 for your 10% discount. Again, that's changeyourpov.com/mountain up and use the promo code GOOD10 to grab yourself a 10% off. Well, there you have it, folks. Now, life gets in the way. That's not an excuse. Now, at the beginning of our 30-day WellFit challenge, one of the things that I really started to explore were my own, what I call limiting beliefs. And this isn't an Eddie Lazary concept. This is actually something I was learning from some of the audio books and things that I was listening to from Tony Robbins, as a matter of fact. And he talks about this thing called limiting beliefs. And these are things that we tell ourselves, right? One of the things that he says that really resonates with me was the only thing keeping you from getting the things that you want are the stories that you tell yourself that are preventing you from getting them, right? So if you want to lose weight, the only thing that's preventing you from doing so are the stories that you tell yourself that's preventing you from losing weight. If you want to make more money or you want to start your own business, the only thing that's stopping you are the stories that you tell yourself as to why you can't. You want to get a college degree or you want to get a promotion at work, the only thing that's stopping you are the stories that you tell yourself for the reasons why you can't. If you want to have a good relationship with your wife and you don't right now, the only thing that's stopping you are the stories that you tell yourself for the reasons why you don't. All right. So, and it goes for anything in your life, right? The stories that we tell ourselves. And that's what we're talking about tonight. We're talking about these stories that we tell ourselves, and we tell ourselves, some of the most outlandish
Yeah.
stories.
Shit.
But you know what? I can convince myself, Bennett, of some obscene bullshit, and I can justify all of it. And in my head, it makes sense to me, but to me alone. Because if I were to try to explain my rationale to other people out there, they would look at me like I had three
Yeah,
eyeballs and
like,
be like,
dude, what are you
"What are you
high on?
talking
You're smoking bat shit.
about?" Right? But these are the stories that we tell ourselves. So here's a good one, right? So here's how stupid some of our limiting beliefs are. All right. So before we started the 30-day WellFit challenge, I wanted to get up early in the morning and go, jogging. And I live relatively in the middle of nowhere, very secluded, like wooded area, right?
Right.
And we have paved roads, but not all the roads out here are paved. And there's a lot of wildlife out here. And so I didn't want to go get up in the morning and go running because now mind you, you're gonna laugh, but this is a bullshit limiting excuse story that I tell myself, right? And I would tell myself in my head now, because there's no way I could come clean out loud. As a matter of fact, I'm blushing as we speak, telling you this
I
story.
see. That's what this episode's all about.
Yeah, man. It's about coming clean, being full transparent, right? So I told myself in the past I couldn't get up early in the morning and go running because I might get attacked by a bear.
Oh my
Right?
God.
Come
Yeah,
on
yeah.
now.
No, I mean,
How ludicrous is that? Like
here's the thing though. Here's the thing. That makes sense in today's world because that's what is the book the rules.
the rules,
The
bullshit
bullshit
rules.
rules
Right,
is that
right.
is that everyone's got these, oh well, I can't do that because I need to be safe, or I can't do this because I have sand in my fucking clit or whatever. And dude,
But
I'm right there with you because I am one of the I am just as like way guilty, if not guiltier. And it's just sorry, I'm kind of
well,
shit's
share.
moving around because I'm standing up at this point now.
All right, so share with us your most obscene limiting excuse that you've told yourself to prevent you from doing something you know you should.
And I can tell you, it completely revolves around being overweight. So how oxymoronic is that? I can't go work out because I'm too fat.
Right.
And I'm not going to get into details because that's basically, let's cut all the fat out, literally. Ha ha ha.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It comes down to I don't feel good because I'm fat and I'm overweight and I'm eating the wrong diet, but yet I can't do anything about it because I am. So
right.
I mean, what?
You're
what
caught
I need to go get,
Yeah, this catch-22. What comes first, the chicken or the egg, right?
So what do I need to go get liposuction so I can go work out?
Right. And I'm
Do I
sure
need to stop eating cheeseburgers 3 times a day?
Yeah.
Or whatever.
And that's the thing. I did a video on Facebook Live maybe it was last week, right? And it's talking about, I think it was the video that it's titled, "What are you waiting for?" And it's this notion of how there's a list or a series of things in our life that we want to do, that we want to achieve, or we want to accomplish, or we want to overcome, or we want to quit, or we want to start, or we want to whatever. But there's always it's the if and then that, right? So it's like
when I'm here, or once I get to this point, then I'll be able to do whatever. So it's like, all right, so once I move, I'll be able to do it. Or once I get this new job, I'll be able to start fresh. Or once I get through this and get to school, then I'll be able to whatever. It's all bullshit, dude. You know what? You know what? And you know what? Anyone that's shaking their head right now, you know it in your fucking deepest, darkest part of your holy black soul. You know we're right.
Well, they do it too, and I know how I know they do it too, because what's the number one what is, right? If you like gyms, like Planet
What's the
Fitness or
biggest
whatever, right?
punchline in the universe is that January and February are the biggest streak, and the January, February, and March are the 3 busiest months at every gym on the planet.
Yep.
Why? You
because
guys, everyone can say it. Give them a 2-second pause. Because everyone says it's my New Year's resolution.
Yep, I'm gonna start on a New Year's.
And after some people it takes them 2 weeks to get started. Some people might take them a month.
Well, the entire month, right? December into January, any gym that knows anything about business is going to offer a $1 come sign up fee, right? Because everybody knows, all these gyms know that people are looking to get into it. And you know what? The gym doesn't care if they lose money their first month, because what they're banking on are the 100 people that sign up and never come and work out, but they never cancel their subscription either, right?
Yeah, and that's
one
free. Of the things that gyms have finally figured out is that they can offer reloadable, $9.99 a month.
Yep.
We're going to charge you $12 to sign up, and there's going to be a reoccurring $12 charge on the anniversary of your sign up every year.
Yep.
And we're going to charge you $9 a month. So at the end of the day, it turns out it works out to $10 a month.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, probably a full 75% of those people might go to the gym for a month and then they never cancel their
that
gym
was me,
membership.
Dude. That was me. I was paying for gym.
I paid for $120 a year to go to a gym that they never even go to. So, so figure you get into a decent area. I mean, it's a great economic freaking plan, because it's almost guaranteed to work. I mean, even if, let's just say it's like Planet Fitness.
Mm-hmm.
They get a couple thousand people to sign up at $10 a month.
Yep.
Average, right? $10 a month. Let's say they get 1,000. You do the fucking math.
Yeah, and they have maybe 10% that will continue it through the rest of the year, right? Yeah. So it's not like it's costing them any extra money to have you in there actually operating a machine. I mean, not really.
Well, at the end of the day, too, they save because there's no wear and tear.
Exactly.
On their machines, because 75% of the people don't even use them.
So now Isn't
it kind of funny how you always see the same 20 people in the gym?
Yes. So I'm not going to mention the name of the gym, but I had a membership to a gym, and every Friday they would provide free pizza.
Yeah. Oh my God.
So I'd go to the gym, I'd work out, and then before I'd leave, I'd grab like 4 slices of pepperoni pizza.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And I'm wondering why the gym wasn't doing anything for me, right? But I had a membership, right? Jesus. And I had a little token I could put on my key ring to basically show to the world that yes, I in fact had a gym membership. But okay, so this episode we're not beating up on gyms.
No,
right?
No. But it's a point to show that yes, but life getting in the way is not an excuse.
Right. All right. So what are some other limiting excuses, right, that we tell ourselves?
Don't have time.
Don't have. Oh, I love that one. I don't have time.
Because that's the biggest one. Is frankly, I don't have time. I don't have time. And guess what? Oh my God! Talk about not having time. Mm-hmm. That's the mantra of my life. Besides the fat one, not having time. But I can tell you 100% certain that I have plenty of time.
Well, you don't. No, you don't. You have the same amount as everyone else.
Absolutely.
But here's the difference, though. Here's the difference. Substitute. Now, this is for all the listeners out there. Anyone that's ever said those words, anyone that's ever uttered those words, but I don't have time, and I'm guilty of it. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I say that all the time. I say it to myself.
You don't even have time to say it.
I don't have, right? So here's the challenge, right? Here's the challenge. Anytime you say or utter those words, but I don't have time, I want you to stop yourself, and I want you to pick a different phrase. And I want you to use this phrase. Are you ready? That's not my priority right now. Instead of saying, I don't have time for that, you can say, I don't have the priority to do that right now. Because that's really what it is. It's not about having more or less time. We all have the same amount of it. You do what you have priority to do, right? If your priority isn't to go to the gym, but it's to stay at home and binge watch Netflix, then you've just made binge watching Netflix a priority over going to the gym, right? Am I right or am I wrong?
Oh, you're above, right? beyond right.
So it's all about what you've prioritized. There's a gentleman that I'm working on. I'm coaching him through some stuff, through some business activities that he's doing.
And this truly, I'm not cutting you off. I'm just saying it truly, you can correlate it to everything in your entire life. So back to Lee.
No.
It's not Lee? At the end of the day, Lee, I thought we were talking about you. But I guess I'm incorrect. So sorry, Eddie. This is what I get for interrupting.
No,
I didn't have time to wait.
So I'm keeping this totally anonymous, right? So there's this guy I'm coaching. His name's Lee, totally anonymous. And he Thanks, Bennett.
I hate you. I fucking hate you right now. It's Lee. Like our listeners don't know who the fuck Lee is.
I know. Everyone knows who Lee is. So anyway, he's in my mastermind group, and we're doing some like business partnering type stuff. We're meeting on the weekends. We're working on some stuff, and there's some things that he's working on, right? That he's trying to get through. And same as all of us. Anybody that has a side business or is an entrepreneur, and you're trying to get things done, oftentimes it's very easy to just throw out but I don't have time, or there's not enough hours in the day, right? How many times have we said that, right? And so it's really easy to use that as a limiting excuse for ourselves, especially when you've got other things going on, right? Family, job, perhaps. Bennett, I know you're going to school. Like I remember when I was going to school full time. It was at night, but still it was considered full time. I was working full time, and I got a family, right? A wife and 2 kids. And they have activities.
Yeah, I'll lay out my whole schedule here before the end of the episode.
Okay. And so, to do anything else, above and beyond those things, required a rather substantial commitment. But at the same time, I, for some reason, was able to find time to, binge watch a couple of seasons of
House of Cards.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Game of Thrones. Insert whatever fucking show you want.
Yes, and we're not here
Real Housewives of New Jersey.
Right. We're not beating up gyms, and we're not beating up Netflix. But the point is, when you have time to do all of these other things, right, that are they're fun, they're an escape, they're easy to do. You can just sit down and relax, right? You get into the moment, you forget about your woes, right?
But they're not, and I'll go into that in a few minutes.
Okay, but that's the point, right? It's not about not having enough time. It's about not prioritizing what it is. And let's be honest, sometimes, Bennett, we don't prioritize things because we may not know what to prioritize or how to prioritize it. So maybe this episode we can also help people understand what are some important things in their life they should be prioritizing. If they don't already know for themselves, we can maybe help them out.
Well, we'll give them some attack points.
Okay. All right.
And attack is a pretty cool little acronym.
It is. Attack.
I don't think we've talked about that yet.
We haven't. No, talk to us about attack.
Well, let's keep going. Keep going to what you're doing. We'll talk about attack in a few minutes.
All right. So I was just basically, that was all I was saying, is it's really not about not having time. It's about not prioritizing properly or according to what your goals are. So I think the most important part of this whole effort, right, in prioritization is at least figuring out what it is you want to accomplish. What is it that I want to do? What's the end goal, right? Do I want a degree? Do I want a promotion? Do I want to start my business? Do I want to monetize my business? Do I want a certification in something? Do I want to lose weight? What is it that you want, right? Start with that first. And then it's before you start getting into all the limiting beliefs as to why you can't achieve those things, and it's so easy to do, right? Before we even, I mean, I'll be honest with you, before I even write any of those goals on a piece of paper, I'm already thinking of limiting beliefs. I'm already thinking of things that are going to prevent me or inhibit me from accomplishing those things, right? And it's just because it's so easy to get into that rhythm of basically shooting ourselves down or shooting that idea down before we even explore how we can do it. We've already come up with 10 ways why we can't, right? And
Yes,
so
sir.
I think it's important to put all of those limiting beliefs aside and just write down 10 things that you want. All right. So all disclosure, here's a list of things that I'm working on in my life right now, right? Things that I want to do. Ultimately, I want to write a book. I want to be an author. Okay. And, someday it's one of my someday goals, right? And believe me, I've got 100 reasons why I can't do that because I'm full of limiting beliefs. But that's something I want to be at some point in my life. I want to be an author. I want to have a successful business, that I own and be able to work full time doing that business, right? Get out of the working for somebody else mode and into working for myself mode. That's something I want to do. But again, I got a gazillion limiting beliefs as to why that can't happen, right? And then some other things that I'm working on right now is I want to learn another language. And the only other language that I find interesting would be Italian because I'm Italian. And I don't know, I've always wanted to learn a second language. I never took a second language in high school or college. And it's something that I've always wanted to do. And so I found somebody that's actually much further ahead in his pursuit of speaking Italian, as a matter of fact. And I know him pretty well. And so now I've got somebody that I can speak with once I learn it. So I'm starting to learn Italian. I'm doing some of that on the side, right? And then, of course, we've got all of our challenges that we're working on, right? Like the 60-day WellFit challenge
Mm-hmm.
and we're going to be doing the 30-day finance challenge. And so some other things that we're working on there. But it requires work. It requires effort. It requires, short-term goals and long-term goals in order to set those things in motion and really vet them out. And so those are, of course, and then I want to build a better relationship with my kids and with my wife. And there's all of these other things that are going on, and none are, I mean, some varying degree of importance, right? I mean, let's be honest with ourselves. Learning Italian shouldn't take priority over developing a good relationship with my daughter, for example, right? So it's important to understand what it is you want to do, but you got to put them in some type of chronological order and say, here's what's most important in my life, and then work all the way down, and then figure out, okay, if I've got 24 hours in a day, and you can carve out the hours that you're going to sleep. And I have to tell you, through this 30-day WellFit challenge, Bennett, I've been doing a lot of research, not just on diet and exercise, but also on other benefits to your health, like meditation and sleep, right? And sleep is a very, very important part of it. I knew sleep's important, but the more I've done the research, the more I realize how important sleep it really is.
Oh yeah.
To your immune system, to your digestive system, to everything, to just your emotional systems, like all of that, right? It's just very, very tied into the sleep, the amount of sleep you get, and the quality of sleep that you're getting. And so to say I'm going to sacrifice sleep in order to gain more hours in my day is not a wise compromise at all, to
And
say
it's
the
not
least.
necessary.
No, it isn't.
And it all begins there.
Right. Yes. Some of the things that you like, what does your day look like? What do you struggle with in terms of goals? What are you working on?
It really started, and I'm going to kind of do a run through, but I'll also talk about what I strive to do on a daily basis. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the run through is, all right. My biggest thing is I would stay up too late trying to get work done, whether it's a blog post or schoolwork or homework or studying for a test, whatever. I'd be up till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and either way I still had to wake up at 6 o'clock to go to work.
Right.
So, you're talking 4 hours of sleep, average, I'd say. And it's like burning the candle at both ends, man. It just doesn't. Right. Sooner or later, you run out of wick or wax. Yep. And then the fire gets extinguished, and then you have a breakdown or whatever. There's got to be a reset at some point, and then you don't. And then you don't have any gas left in the tank, and you basically shut down, and then you're on autopilot until you're able to get your mojo back, right? So what are you able to accomplish then? So it really does start with sleep and getting like 7 hours of sleep a night. That's kind of the magic number. Right. 6 to 8, I say 7. For me, it's 7. But I go to bed by 10 o'clock every night. Right. And I get up at 5.
Now so I too go to bed at 10 o'clock every night. Now, whether or not I actually try to sleep or lay in bed and read or journal or watch that just one more show on Netflix, right?
So turn the TV off.
Yeah.
Turn the device off if you can. At the very least, put it in.
So going to bed and going to sleep are two very different things. So
you need to go to sleep. Work it out. Stay off the devices. Stay off any kind of like unnatural, or just off of anything that emits light, because it messes with your melatonin receptors. Just does. Period. Science, folks. It messes with the melatonin receptors, and melatonin is a key hormone that is released to allow you to go to sleep. Right. And if you sit there and watch TV, which is a light, emits that blue light that really stimulates shuts down the melatonin receptors. Your cell phone does the same thing, and so does a laptop, or even a Kindle or iPad that you're reading on. Right. So if you're going to lay in bed, I suggest you at least have a book that's paper, good old-fashioned paper book, laying next to your bed, or journal with actual pen and paper, whatever. Okay. Yep. Before you go to bed, I do it I read a paper book. You know what? I don't even have to read anymore. I just lay down and that's it. Boom. I'm out. Yeah. Because it's just a process. Right. Then I wake up at 5, and that was not easy for the first little time. But just that simple act of going to sleep at the same time and waking up at the same time. I mean, of course, there's times when it doesn't happen like clockwork like that. Like I might be in bed at 10:30 or 10:45 or whatever, because tonight will actually probably be one of those nights. But you know what I'm saying? So just do the best you can. And then waking up at 5, I get up, I make sure that the alarm is on the other side of the room. So I actually get up. And I've got
that's a good trick. Yeah.
So I have that. So I can't just roll over and hit snooze. I know that you're guilty of it too, brother.
Yep.
Just give me another 10 minutes. No, just get up, walk over there. And the other thing I have is a glass of water. Actually, it's a water bottle. It's a, one of those mixer bottles, the 24 ounce or whatever the hell it is. 20-ounce mixer bottle full of water. And I freaking chug it.
That's just to get
the body
replenish. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Because it gets everything flowing, gets the lymphatic system moving, everything. And it also helps wake you up. And then I go in the bathroom, I do my little thing in the bathroom and tinkle, and usually I brush my teeth because I don't like working out with my breath all funky, and it just, who wants their mouth tasting like ass?
I do.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. It's horrible. So brush your teeth, and then I'm out the door. It depends. Tuesdays and Thursdays, I actually post the episode for Cigars and Sea Stories those days.
Mm-hmm.
And then I go work out. But Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and then usually Saturday most weeks is the same. I get up, whether it's Saturday or Sunday, I get up. My days off, I get up at the same time.
Yeah.
Now my schedule's about to change.
Oh, that's right.
So I won't be going to bed till almost midnight.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So I will have to move my sleepy time from midnight to 7. But it will only take me about a week to get up to that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I may, just depending, so about 7. And that still gives me more than enough time to get up and do exactly the same thing before my kids head off to school.
Right.
And then I have extra time just because my hours for my new job are going to be from 2 to 10:30. So yeah, so that's got to change a little bit. But anyway, not a big deal. But that's the thing. Just those things, giving yourself that time, man, when no one's awake and you're up and it's quiet, how much shit you can get done.
Oh,
even
yeah,
if you
man.
don't even get up and work out, even if you get up to just meditate or just take that extra 5 minutes and have some time to yourself, man.
Yeah.
You know how much shit you can get done in an hour when there's no distraction? It's freaking amazing.
Right.
So I just take that time to work out, though.
Yep.
And I'm not talking about going to a gym.
Oh, no, me neither.
You just go out and walk or run or do sprints or do body weight stuff. And it's that simple. No flushing $10 a month down the toilet. And take the extra $120 and buy yourself, quarter of a cow.
Yep.
Or whatever,
Yeah.
Quantify the savings and actually say, oh, this is what I'm going to save the $120 a year on. Right. I don't need to go to a gym. So that's how I start my morning. And I meditate and do all that stuff within that base. And then I usually, by the time I get home, my kids are awake, and then I cook breakfast. And again, this is another thing that people always whine about time, is cooking, nutrition. I don't have time to cook. No.
Right.
You're just, you're not taking, it's not a priority to you.
It's not a priority.
You would rather take the time to watch TV, or who the hell knows what you're doing? You know what I mean? Right. But if you take the time, so here's another kicker. Just because it's my priority to cook good breakfast for my kids and my niece and nephew. This is my priority, okay? Because I'm sick and tired of them eating complete crap. Because they'll pull out, the cereal, basically, candy cereal, and they'll just mow it down and then, head off to school. And next thing you know, they're dying by lunch. And then they eat crap there too, for the most part. So, yeah. So there's things. So either way, I've made a decision that I'm going to cook breakfast, like a real breakfast with, real food every morning, fruit, eggs, meat, protein, that type of thing. And I can tell you that they love it.
Yeah, of course they do.
Yeah. So,
and I started to cook really good paleo food. My son loves it.
Yeah.
Loves it.
Yeah. So it's not an excuse.
No.
The time is an issue. Well, you know what? Wake up an hour early and make your food for the day.
Yeah.
You're telling me you can't have it. You can't be organized enough to literally get up 1 hour early and organize your entire food for the day. Like, cook the food. God knows, or take 1 day a week, Saturday, Sunday, when the majority of people have off, and just meal prep your lunches. So let's say you eat crap for dinner and you eat crap for breakfast, but at least you've got one meal that you started with, and say, boom, I'm cooking 5 meals right now and putting them in containers to take to work.
Right.
I do it every Sunday.
Yeah. It was like yesterday, my son and I, we cooked, it was lasagna. Well, we didn't use the pasta. We actually used zucchini.
Yeah, baby.
So we thinly sliced zucchini instead of the pasta.
So good.
And we used a combination of turkey, ground turkey, and hot or spicy Italian sausage that we cooked up, and we layered it with. We still got the ricotta cheese, and we got the regular. I think it was like 3 cheese, shredded cheese or whatever.
Yeah,
it
was
was
probably like Asiago, mozzarella, and
right,
Fontina or something. Yeah.
Yep. And we took tomatoes and diced up the tomatoes.
You and your freaking cherry tomatoes.
Oh yeah, man!
You're like addicted.
Love it. So yeah, we just layered it up into like a Dutch oven, and then we baked it at like 300 degrees for 2 hours, and took it out and let it kind of rest for about 20 minutes, and then mowed it down. Dude,
so good.
It's awesome, man. I mean, and the thing about it is we cooked enough of it where we had literally dinner that night, and then I had that for lunch today, and I think my son had it for dinner tonight, and I'll have it tomorrow for lunch. I mean, it took some prep time, took some cook time, but boom, you got meals essentially for days. And then the other thing that I do in the morning, so I don't have an excuse to skip breakfast, because it's so easy for me to have an excuse to do anything. I'm full of freaking excuses. I'll boil 2 hard-boiled eggs in the morning. Takes all 15 minutes. So I get up, throw a couple eggs in there, and then I have my cherry tomatoes, like you said, and some berries, either strawberries, blackberries, or both. And I'll throw the hard-boiled eggs into a bowl. I'll peel them, after they're done cooking. I'll peel them, and I'll throw them into a bowl with the cherry tomatoes and the berries. And I'll bring the bowl with me on the way to work. I got an hour commute, and I'll just literally listen to podcasts, talk to my son, and eat my breakfast on the way to work. You know what I mean? It took 15 minutes literally, and that was just cook time. It wasn't really, and I didn't stand there and watch him cook. I just put the timer on and went and did something else, made coffee, whatever. And it just, this whole I don't have time to cook breakfast, or I don't have time. It is such a load of bullshit. It just is. I mean, but those are but I used to say that all the time myself.
But I mean, I am. It is one of those things, like, depending on what you're making, it can be horrendously time consuming. It really can.
It can. But it doesn't have to be. That's your choice.
It's your choice, but it's worth it. Like, how long does it take to literally grill some chicken, some vegetables? That's it.
Right.
And it's delicious, and you're done. It might take you 15 minutes. Literally stop at the store, buy the chicken, buy the vegetables, slice up the vegetables. Shit, nowadays you can buy them pre-freaking cut. It costs a lot more money. But see, that's the other thing. That's the other myth, that eating well costs more money.
Right.
And I call bullshit.
It costs more money if you go and you shop like normal, or you go to the grocery store and you load up an entire basket full of produce and then realize that you can't actually eat all of that before it goes bad, and you end up throwing away the food. So yeah, I'm speaking from experience here, because I did that. So you've got to go to the grocery store more often, but collectively you don't have to spend more money. You just don't. You know what I mean? Because let's face it, you go and you buy fresh produce to make a salad with a hard-boiled egg or whatever for lunch. You make that yourself, it's probably $1.50. Whereas if you were to buy a salad pre-made at your place of employment or at a grocery store, yeah, you're going to pay $5-6 for a pre-made salad. So when people say, "Oh, it's too expensive to eat clean," well, are you buying the pre-made salad and spending 5 times as much, or are you buying the ingredients and making it yourself? Right. I mean, So really, you gotta understand what it is you're saying when you say you can't afford it because it costs too much. Maybe you're not going about it the right way. You know
or
what I
you're
mean?
just buying the wrong stuff. Again, convenience. You're gonna pay
Yeah.
for it.
Right.
And
Right. Yeah.
if you literally, instead of, all right, so you buy those vegetables whole, or stop by, hey, guess what? You're sitting at work and you know that there's a farmer's market a block away from where you work, right?
Right.
And
Yeah.
you're just sitting there going, man, I'd really like to go to that farmer's market. Get off your
Right.
ass and do it one day and pick up the vegetables that you're going to need for the next 3 days.
Yeah.
Go home, chop them up, prepare them, actually rinse them and clean them and all that stuff. And I guarantee you, if you prepare the vegetables correctly, they're going to last you the time you need them to.
Right.
It's just literally take an extra 20 minutes while you're riding in your car and think about the 5 days of food that you're going to eat.
Yep.
And figure it out. It's not that hard.
Take some time, it takes some thought, takes some preparation, but again, is it priority or isn't it? Right. And that's really what it comes down to.
And again, it's simple, folks,
Mm-hmm.
but that's the catch. It's simple, but it's not easy.
No, let's be honest here, right? There's plenty of I am not smart enough to come up with any of this data myself, but it's research that I've done. There is a direct correlation between obesity and poverty. Why is that? Why is that?
Well, there's a couple reasons. I'll let you go into it.
Yeah. So the direct correlation between obesity and poverty is it's convenient, right? It's convenient to eat garbage, basically fast food every whatever. But a lot of it, the direct correlation between poverty and obesity. And I'm not saying that everyone that's obese is poor, or everyone that's poor is obese. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is there's a direct correlation, however, and it's because one, a lot of it has to do with, well, let's just. Am I too harsh in saying that a lot of poor people out there are poor because they don't have their priorities straight, right?
Yes. That's a very good way of putting it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that every poor person doesn't have their priorities straight, but let's face it, a lot of people that are poor out there, they're poor because of the decisions that they've made in their life. They're poor because they, elected not to pursue, things better for themselves in their life, right? Because let's face it, there's also a lot of poor people out there that changed their life around and are no longer poor because they made a conscious decision not to be a victim and to do something for themselves, right? So eating garbage, it's easier, right? And in a lot of cases, it's cheaper.
And it's cheaper, and that's that we can go down that conspiratorial road. But remember, back in the day, being overweight was a sign that you were wealthy.
Right, it was.
And now it's flipped on its head.
Yeah.
Because when it comes down to the money part of it, our food system is set up against our health.
Mm-hmm.
And it just really, truly is. The fast food and junk food and all that cheap bang for your buck calories are way cheaper by design.
Right.
That people are getting rich from it. Period.
Yes.
And you know what? We should delve into that, but on another episode. Because that's a full episode right there.
Well, it's here's where I get I'm hung up on the axis about it's cheaper, so people that live in poverty are more obese because eating garbage or eating not clean is cheaper. But I've just this weekend, as a matter of fact, I went to a grocery store, rather extremely obese woman and her obese children walking through the grocery store, and this isn't coming from a place of being judgmental. This was just an observation, okay? And I just took note of what she had in the basket, and it was full. It was full of groceries, dude, if you want to call them groceries. But what was in there? It was, Pop
It's not
Tarts,
even
and it
food.
was
It's Franken
no,
food.
yeah, it
Not
was pop.
even food.
Yeah, it was ice cream and Pop Tarts and
It's everything.
frozen.
It's everything from the middle of the grocery store.
Yes, frozen waffles, and I mean, literally, I was just sitting there like looking at what she had in her bag, and we're talking, she spent way more at the grocery store than I did. Let's just say that, okay? But I was just like, everything was microwavable. Everything was like the TV dinners, like mac and cheese, like
And I bet if you look, everything is just loaded with hydrogenated oils, high fructose corn syrup, and
yes.
everything else. And at the end of the day, if you really break those substances down, they're poisonous basically to your body. And sugar and high carbohydrate foods like that are addictive.
Yeah.
They're addictive for the same reason. Sugar might as well be a drug.
Well, she didn't have a sink. There was zero that I could see. Maybe she didn't get to that aisle yet. But there was zero fresh fruits and vegetables in the basket to be seen at all, anywhere. Zero. And I'm just like,
here's
wow.
one of the coolest things, at least in New York State. I haven't seen it in other states, but at least in New York State, the farmers markets, the majority of vendors at the farmers markets now accept EBT.
Which
an
is?
EBT card, the food stamps.
Oh, okay. Oh, really?
Oh yeah. At least in New York State they do. So it's pretty cool things that are going on to fight back against that whole cliche or
yeah, that is cool.
Against the statistics, because here's what it is, folks. At the end of the day, we're not trying to say that, exactly like Eddie had said, because you're poor, you're fat. What it comes down to, though, is that that's statistics. That's actual numbers telling us that. Okay. And I know it, you know it. I mean, the books that we read tell us that. Research studies that I've read. I mean, if anyone's got questions about this stuff, reach out, man. I will send you it all. No bullshit. Yep. And people can say I'm bullshitting them, and that's fine. But you know what? I'll give you the same material that you have, and then you know what? Tell me why I'm wrong. Tell me why.
Right.
But you better come with some shit. It's not going to be, and people, again, we're just headed down this road. I've been down this road. This is my second time now. All right. And I'm that reformed smoker.
No, I mean,
I've already quit, and I'm back on the wagon again. And
I quit smoking. Yeah, man. I quit smoking 4 times, dude. You know what I mean? I'm just now starting to struggle with my weight, but I never got completely out of control. But I struggle with cigarettes, dude.
But it's like,
right?
People will make the assumption just because I'm overweight, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. And that's complete bullshit. Right. Because at the end of the day, if you saw me 2 years ago, you'd understand what I was saying. Or more than that, sorry. 4 years ago, you'd understand where I'm coming from. I've been there. It's like, all of us. Why is anybody that was in the military fat? So we know how to work out. But at the end of the day, it comes down to it's bigger than that. Yep. So, don't discount us because we're 2 fat guys losing weight and having fun doing it.
Right.
We know what the fuck we're talking about. I mean, I'm not a scientist, but I guarantee you I've done 10 times more research than 90% of the people out there on this stuff.
Right.
And,
it's just
degree, but it doesn't fucking matter. Trust me.
It's just like, so I'm going to equate it to something that's kind of going on right now in our nation, with these elections.
My God.
Right.
And 319 million people, and these assholes are what it comes down to.
So I'm not turning this into a political episode, but here's the point I'm making, right? This is what, all right. So anybody on Facebook, people keep adding me to these Facebook groups, the Trump group or Hillary group, right? Like they think I need to be a part of these groups. But it's funny because all of these people, right? They just start. It's just basically it's a whose dick is bigger contest. Basically, is what it's turning out to be, right? It's a pissing contest between this person. It's just slander. This and that. So I started to do this experiment. It was pretty crazy. I don't know. Maybe I'm just an asshole, but so these people are on Facebook and they're just going off about why Trump is better than Hillary or vice versa. And this one guy that was just very, you know, throwing out all kinds of statistics like he knows what's going on, right? I just kind of texted him back or messaged him in or replied to one of his comments, and I said something like, "Who is the name the representatives of your state, right? Name the senator of your state. How many representatives?
No, I even get which I always laugh because people focus so much on a presidential election. I'll look at them and go, "Tell me who's on your city council."
Yes, or who's your mayor?
Because here's the thing: who influences your life more, your mayor or your city council, your county legislature? I guarantee you that they have 10 times the 90% of the shit that goes on in your life is influenced by them, not by President Obama or Trump or Hillary or whoever.
Exactly.
Freaking, no, you freaking nincompoops. It's starting to piss me off.
And that's the thing,
because when 25% of the country or 40% of the country at best chooses who is president, you have no excuse. If you didn't vote, you have no excuse. Zero.
Right. But these people that are throwing their candidates around like they're the greatest thing since sliced bread.
But yet 25% of them, 25% of the nation chose either Hillary or Trump. That's it.
Well, I bet you most of these people that are advocating for one or the other, I bet you, right? I bet you most of them never even voted for their state's representatives or their senators or their governor or any.
And if they did, they voted either because they were a D or an R.
Yeah, right.
That's why.
Right. Yeah. So the point I'm making here is, like I said, it wasn't to turn this into a political podcast, but the point I'm making is it's so easy to point the finger at the president and say this person or that person is going to make the country better or isn't. But it's easy to lose sight of the fact that 90% of the laws that are created or generated that affect you on a daily basis is done at a much lower level than the president of the United States. And so true is everything else in our life, right?
Yeah, well, let's wrap.
We look at the.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, we look at the big things in our life, right? Like the president in the United States, like losing 300 pounds, like, getting a doctorate degree, like, we shoot for all these great big like things. And we say to ourselves, well, if we can't affect change in that area, then I'm not even going to try. Whereas we really need to be focusing on our state, our town, our local city, town officials, government officials, because those are the people that are going to make the real differences in our life. And it's really comes down to, the small classes that you're taking for your college, or the meals, the small meals that you're eating clean, every day. It's the small dates that you take your daughters out on. It's the little things in life that mean more and make the most impact than the great big ginormous things that are just. Do you know where I'm going with that?
It's
what I'm saying?
What I was going to say, to basically wrap it all into a nice little bow, is that you are responsible and you dictate 99% of your life.
Right.
And if you allow people to dictate more than 1% of what you choose in your life, then you have nobody to freaking blame but yourself.
Agreed.
Go look in the mirror and figure out where your obstacles really are, because I guarantee you most of them are looking right back at you.
Right.
And that's the truth.
All right, man. Well, we are wrapping up this episode. So let's just call it, man. That was a great episode. Life gets in the way is not an excuse. You are in control of your own destiny. You're in control of your own life. And let's be honest with ourselves. We are what we eat. We are what we do. We are the average of the 5 people that we hang out with. I mean, we do this to ourselves, right? And to blame anything or anyone other than ourselves is ludicrous. It absolutely is. You got to look yourself in the mirror and just come to grips with the fact that, you know what, you control your destiny. You control, your weight level. You control your relationship with your kids. You control your relationship with your wife. You control that promotion you have or don't have at work. I mean, the list of things that we control goes on and on and on, right? So let's wrap it up. Thanks, Bennett, for this episode. I think it was a great one. Life gets in the way is not an excuse. Any closing words, my friend?
I have none.
All right, folks. You can learn all of everything we talked about in today's episode by heading over to changeyourpov.com/episode 85. Never miss an episode. Hit subscribe on your podcast player of choice. We have a lot more great content headed your way. And again, be sure to check out our sponsor, Mountain Up, by heading over to changeyourpov.com/Mountain Up. Grab all of your great gear from that fine establishment. And then at checkout, don't forget to type in the code GOOD10, GOOD10 for your 10% off. All right, man. Until next time.
I was watching you live.
Is that you
on there?
I
said your shit is weak.
Oh, there's 2 people watching me live.
Eric Mitchell.
Oh, hey, what's up, Eric?
Do you want to get Ryan on? He's
right.
Hunt. Or do you want to reschedule?
No, we're going to have to probably reschedule, man.
Okay.
All right.
So,
well, folks,
message him because he's on Facebook right now. For some reason, yeah, man, my fucking shit is fucked up.
Eric Mitchell wants to know what's up. We are recording an episode. Actually, we're wrapping up an episode that we just got done recording.
And I know you can't hear my voluptuous voice.
No, you can't hear Ben on the other end. But so Eric Mitchell is we had him on a couple of weeks ago, and he is the owner of Life Flip Media, which is a digital marketing media company. Be sure to check him out. He's all over social media. So he and I were toying around with he made a comment, and then somebody you like this hat? Yeah, Eric likes the hat, man. Mountain Up hat right here. He wouldn't understand because he's a Marine, so he wouldn't understand. But
he gets it. No, I think he's also. I think he just got picked up as a affiliate sponsor for Mountain Up as well.
Oh, you got picked up for a sponsor, Eric. You got picked up as a sponsor for Mountain Up as well. That's what Bennett's telling me, which is good. This is a small world, man. We all live in this night. But anyway, I was telling you that so Eric made a post on his Facebook page. It was a pretty good post. And somebody chimed in with just some asinine, random, like crazy bullshit that made no sense at all. And so Eric and I were kind of toying with him a little bit, but it was good. It's good stuff.
I saw Eric's post the other day, and I made some comments on it about he was talking about people making Facebook Live and walking around and stuff, and how it makes him dizzy.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I was like, too. You can't make me stop it, Eric. So
Eric says, well, Marines don't get patches for everything.
That's so true. Which is true. They don't get patches for anything.
That's true, man. All you guys get the globe and anchor. That's all you need. You put that shit on everything. That's right. We put it on everything. I put that shit on everything. All right, man. That's all I got. Thanks, Bennett. Appreciate it.
Till next time.
All right. Till next time. Peace.
Thanks for listening to Change Your POV podcast with Eddie Lazary. Check out more content by going to changeyourpov.com. And remember, your ability and willingness to change your point of view will open doors of opportunity.